Hi, everybody. This is Monica Main, and I wanted to do something really special. And I want to show you a little bit about how easy it is to completely and totally change your life. So, what we're going to be calling this is Monica Main's Secret. Now, as you know, a lot of you have watched the Secret movie, and you probably came away from the movie thinking that there's got to be something more or there's something missing. And one of the things that I think is missing from The Secret is a bona fide step by step methodology on exactly how to change your life. You know, it's one thing to change your thought processes and change how you feel about things and being grateful for stuff and feeling a sense of, graciousness and, feeling different things in your heart and your stomach and all the other stuff that they teach you in these different change your life type of self help books and videos. But there has to be a specific way and methodology that you could utilize step by step in order to be able to actually use these methods to actually change your life and to see the results of changing your life. So, this is my secret. Now, my secret starts with a life vision. You can't obviously very well think that you're going to get anywhere in life unless you actually take the time to think about how you want your life to end up. So, for example, you can't think about achieving anything unless you know what you want to achieve. Now, I know that seems kind of obvious, but believe it or not, a lot of people don't have an end result in mind, especially a physical end result to where they actually can visualize exactly what they want. So, for example, a lot of people are like, well, I want to lose weight or I want to be rich, but they don't have an exact, precise life vision on exactly what that looks like. And then people wonder why they never get anywhere. It's like, well, you don't know where you're going first, so obviously you're never going to get anywhere if you don't know where you're going. So, what I call this is a life vision in which you actually specifically visualize exactly what it looks like to have the bikini body that you want, including how many pounds that means that you have to shave off, including how toned you want to look, whether you want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or you just want to look like a toned dancer or whatever type of body you're looking at. You have to specifically visualize exactly what that's going to look like and visualize it as if you're already standing in front of a mirror and have the body that you're looking for. In addition to that, you have to know exactly how many pounds you have to shave off to be able to get to that body that you're looking for. And everybody has an idea of how overweight they might feel like they are. And, based on the scale and based on what you've looked like maybe when you were in high school, you know exactly how much poundage you have to shave off to get where you want. So, in order for you to actually start anywhere as far as getting on your path to making any kind of changes, whether it's financially, physically, or otherwise, you have to first visualize what that end result is. And that goes for financial as well. A lot of people say, I want to be rich. Well, when you're in Mexico making $500 a week, that's going to be considered rich. So, what is your definition of rich? What are you going to have? What type of house are you going to live in? What type of business are you going to have? You have to visualize everything instead of just saying, I want to be rich, because otherwise, that's sort of a goal to nowhere. So, the first part of the secret is that you see your vision of the end first, meaning you see it exactly as how you want it to play out, as if your life was already like that. Now, this isn't going to be one of these, secrets to where you pretend like you have the life you already want and then you sort of feel like you have the life you already want and start saying affirmations and so forth. That's not what this is about. But you can't get there unless you know where you want to be. For example, as you know, when you get on an airplane, you obviously have to know where you're going. You have to buy a ticket to a specific area of the country or the world to be able to actually get there. You have to pick a date, you have to pick a time, you have to, collect all of your things and pack your bags and show up at the airport. You have to know where you're going, obviously, before you can even get to the airport. Otherwise, number one, they're not even going to let you into the airport, because if you don't have a ticket or don't know where you're going, you're not going to end up anywhere. And I know that seems yet again very obvious, but to a lot of people, they're like, well, I just have this goal. It's like, well, it's not really a goal unless it's fully and completely fleshed out. And so you have to see that vision completely and totally, every element of what it's supposed to look like, before you can actually start the process of making the steps to get there. So once you figure that out, that end vision, then you're going to figure out how you're going to get there. And of course, there's going to be a step-by-step plan involved. It's not going to be some haphazard, thought process or visualizing in a corner or meditating. This is actually going to be a bona fide, very specific plan that you're going to preferably put down on paper and then begin to implement slowly but surely. Now, here's a warning for you. You have to be careful when you create your life vision that it's what you really want and not something that you think you want. For years and years, I always thought that I wanted certain things, to be wealthy, to have certain cars and so forth. But then I realized I was living somebody else's dream. I was actually living the dream that society thought that I should be living. And so when I decided that, I wanted to live my own dream in my own life, it actually created a different type of life altogether. I would actually be happy being a writer, maybe living in a cabin somewhere. Of course, I have to have an internet and electricity. I'm not really into the whole, living by fire and so forth. But, my true vision of what I want my life to look like is a lot different than what I thought my vision was supposed to look like based on what society told me for so many years what wealthy people are supposed to look like. And so be careful that you create the life vision that you want and not what society thinks you want or your family wants or what everybody thinks, you should be doing. You need to figure out what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to get there, or you're not going to be happy when you do get there. You don't want to be filling up your life with a bunch of crap. I've done this for many, many years where I thought if I collected a bunch of things and had certain cars and lived in certain neighborhoods that I would be happy. But in actuality, the more I collected, I found that I was miserable because I was finding that I just simply was not matching what I felt like I should be. I wasn't feeling where I should have been. Or felt like I should have been at that time in my life. So, for example, you collect all this money, you think, well, I obviously should be happy at this moment, but instead, you find yourself more miserable than ever just because of the fact that you thought all these things were going to bring you this happiness. And when you get there and realize it doesn't, it's even a further disappointment. It's a triple disappointment because you came all this way on your journey just to realize that all this stuff didn't bring you any happiness at all. So if it's just for the stuff, it's not worth it. Don't even make a goal for the stuff. The stuff's easy to get, but it's your integrity, it's your personality and staying intact, true to who you are, that's the most important. Your family, your kids, your grandkids, that's what's important about life, not about collecting a bunch of stuff. And I wish I could rewind my life 20 years and have somebody tell me that same thing, because I know it seems obvious, but a lot of us are so drawn to what society has told us what success is. When we see people like Paris Hilton and all these celebrities and rich people, we think that's what our happiness is going to be like. That's where our happiness is based on what other people are doing and what other people are getting. And if we're not getting those same things, then obviously we're a failure on some level. And that is, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the majority of those people are extremely unhappy because of the reasons I outlined. Freedom is the most important element, and the more stuff you have, the more entrapped you will be in your lifestyle. And so, like for example, that multi-million-dollar mansion on the hill comes with a lot of perks, but yet it also comes with a lot of financial and draining obligations. Like for example, a lot of people don't realize, but the taxes that just on the property taxes of a property like that is horrendous. The upkeep is horrendous. So people are finding themselves who are wealthy on this treadmill to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with what society makes them think that they should be having and how they should look. And there's just a major emotional, psychological, and spiritual tax that they have to pay to keep up with all of this. And that's why a lot of these people are on prescription medication. Some of them are on illegal drugs, and a lot of them are completely unhappy because they get to this point in life where they think that they have all the bling and they have all the stuff that society thinks that has told them that they should have to be successful. And when they get there, they realize nothing in life is happy, and it's all working 16 hours a day just so that they could pay the property taxes and they could pay, the DMV fees on their Bentley, which is 100 times more than what everybody else has to pay for their vehicles. And, it's not really worth it. So, think in terms of, if you want all the bling, understand what it is that you're getting. It's not just getting the car, it's all of the upkeep. You have to have detail people come out every week because you just can't take it to a car wash. You have, exuberant taxes and exuberant insurance, exuberant fees from the state, from the Department of Motor Vehicles or whatever the department is in your state. So it comes with more of a tax than you think. So understand fully what you're getting into. If that's what you're wanting and that's what you want to go for it. But please don't think that getting all of that stuff is going to make you happy, because it's not. So really think about and analyze what you want. Pretend like you have it. Pretend like you have everything that you want, the big house, the mansion. And then think about the other stuff that you're not thinking about, as far as the taxes, the insurance, the upkeep, having to hire a whole crew of people to be able to take care of all this stuff. And actually ask yourself again if this is what you really want. And are you willing to work 16, 18 hours a day possibly at some point in time doing something you don't want to do just to be able to upkeep all of that stuff. So, it may be something that you want, and it may not be something that you want. It might not have been something that you thought you were cut out to do. So, think about that now before you start making this lengthy list of I want a Bentley, I want a $10 million mansion, I want this, I want that. Think about all the stuff first and the taxes, if you will, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and financially that go along with that before you make that commitment to yourself that you want to go forth and get all that stuff. So why do you want to do it this way? Why do you want to actually look at the end result in your mind to see where you want to go and then work your way backwards? And the answer is there's a lot of power in mentally creating your entire retirement life or your new life in your mind's eye than simply saying, I want to retire, I want to get rich so that I don't have to work anymore. That's really not a goal. But to sort of develop what you're exactly going to be doing when you no longer have to work a 9-to-5 job or doing something you don't want to do anymore, as long as you understand what that entire lifestyle encompasses, then you can get there. I personally do not want to retire because I've retired before and it's very boring. I think I lasted a few months and that was the end of that. And so, retirement isn't cut out for me. And I tell everybody, that I'm going to work till the day I die. Well, I don't consider my work because I fully enjoy what I'm doing. And so what you want to do, and I recommend that you do, rather, I should say, is that you want to find something that's so enjoyable that it can make you a lot of money, but yet it doesn't seem like work. This could be writing novels. This could be, being a surfer. This could be designing clothing. Whatever makes your life enjoyable to where it doesn't feel like work, but yet it could be very profitable, that's what you're looking for. Because I can tell you right now that your main goal is probably retiring and not working anymore because you're probably miserable at what you're doing because it's some boring 9-to-5 job, or maybe your business is just, you've had it because it's been so many years and you're just done with it, whatever. And so the first thing you're thinking of is, I want to retire, I want to do nothing, I want to just basically enjoy money coming into me, but I don't want to be working for it anymore. And you're not going to be happy with that, guaranteed. Especially if you're a go-getter like me, you're certainly not going to be happy with that. So instead, start designing your life. Instead of calling it retirement, call it a new life, and include in that new life some type of work that would really make you happy to where you're not feeling like you are working, but rather you are, doing a new life, something that you can fully enjoy, that you can make money with. So the concept of retirement is actually unrealistic. Just because, like I had mentioned, it's boring. You might think that, that's something that you want, but in actuality, it's not really worth it. So for some of you, you would want to call this a new life instead of retirement. A new life means that you now get to do the things you want to do rather than having to punch a clock and, sit on the freeway for, 2 hours a day and all the other stuff that you're unhappy with, having to be somewhere at a certain time, meetings, traveling for business, wearing suits, whatever it is that you hate about your current lifestyle and your current work or business. You will now call this a new life that you will start envisioning for yourself instead of calling it retirement. So just to give you an example of how this works, my personal life and vision includes, I would like to work from home, ditch the office, the employees, and the stress of having a company, because that really is stressful for me. One of the biggest stressings of having a company is employees. Even though I've had some awesome employees work for me, they're always doing things that they're not doing properly, or there's certain things that have gone wrong, or they didn't handle something on time. And, in my most recent situation, I had an old bookkeeper that I terminated over a year ago, and she's lost our company almost $30,000, just in overpaid state sales tax, as well as overpayment in workers' comp insurance on one of our companies. And so, it's just stuff like that that really gives me a headache that I would just love to ditch. And so my vision includes, we're doing writing projects, from home, over the next several years. They can be any writing projects, but that's what I envisioned for myself. I'd like to continue investing in real estate, but passing off all the rehab responsibilities and management to other people. Instead of me overseeing all of that, I'd like to spend, more time with my daughter during the work weeks until she's in high school. She's got 10 more years before she goes to high school, but I picture myself walking her to school, which I already do now, but also picking her up after school and not having to return to the office, because I usually return to the office with her and she has to be bored at the office, although she does like it in the office. But still, I'd like to go home and continue on with my writing projects and do all of that stuff. That's what I see my personal life vision as being. I like to pick up teaching, but sparingly, doing little things here and there, maybe speaking engagements and so forth. But I don't want to be committed to an office environment anymore, or taking a business by the hand and fully managing it. I'm done with those days, I think. So one of the things that makes the magic happen much faster for you is that you create a vision board. Now, I know some people scoff at this idea. This is something that they covered in The Secret movie and so forth. But I've actually found power to this, because every single time I create a vision board, 90% of the items that I put on the vision board actually come to pass. And the ones that don't come to pass, I realize after the year that they were probably better not to come to pass, because I'm really glad that they didn't, because it wasn't true to what my goal or my vision was for myself. So this is a very powerful strategy, because again, it goes along with mentally envisioning what you want in life. And once you mentally envision what you want, then it comes to pass much faster than doing verbal affirmations. So this goes hand in hand with your end vision and visualizing what you want your end new life to be. And then you confirm that with your vision board by having pictures that you can, print off the internet or cut out of magazines and so forth. You post it onto a poster board. And once you see this every day, put it in an area of your house where you can actually see it every day, whether it's your closet where you get dressed or wherever you can see it every single day. And then it really starts to seep into your subconscious mind that these things are not only possible for you, but probable as well. So even if your mind gives you resistance on you visualizing your end goal, it will stop resisting you. Especially after 3 months, 6 months, a year goes by, your subconscious mind will stop resisting the pictures it sees every day, because it will look like, oh, these pictures are the norm, these are part of my life, and you don't have any conscious opinions about the pictures anymore. Those conscious opinions start to disappear. So in the beginning, you might think, oh, I'll never have that car, or, why do I even bother putting that car on there? That's so expensive, and how will I ever afford that? But, try to dismiss those types of thoughts immediately if they do happen. But over time, your mind is going to get sick of coming up with these types of excuses as to why you don't deserve to have these things. And it's just going to accept the fact that these items are on your board and that these are now considered a possibility or probability in your life. So that's why the board is so powerful. Put it somewhere that you can see it every day. And like I had mentioned, the mind does respond to pictures. And with these pictures, you will actually see fast results. I will tell you, though, the majority of you will think, oh, poo-poo, this is a vision board, I'm not going to do it. But those of you that will do the vision board, you will actually find that not only you'll find success, but you'll find success much, much faster than people who do not have a vision board. In fact, you'll find success years faster than the people that scoff at the idea of taking the time to do a vision board. So your second dose of magic is picking a date. Now, what do I mean about a date? On what day are you going to quit? Whether that's quit your job, quit your business, etc., what day are you going to quit? Now, there's a rhyme and a reason as to why you want to do this, because you're actually committing to yourself that, you have a date to quit. And so a lot of people don't realize that I have a date to quit, which the date is coming and going, which is December 31st, 2013. And I actually did quit on a lot of different levels, the things that I did not want to do anymore. I decided that I no longer want to do real estate training. I decided that I'm getting out of, doing seminars for real estate, even though I will always be interested in investing in real estate and, getting involved in passive income real estate. I am no longer interested in doing seminar training. I'm going into a completely different direction with my business. I'm teaching people more so on the levels of aggressive income and aggressive income to passive income, but I'm completely and totally changing my curriculum on the things that I am teaching. I'm writing a lot more, so I have actually met my quit date, I quit date, okay? So what is your date to say that you quit? And this has to be something realistic, not too far away. So for example, it can't be 5 years away, that's too far, and it can't be within 6 months because that's too close. So there has to be a happy medium. I suggest it's between 18 and 24 months away. Because your mind can believe that, but yet it doesn't forget about it because it's not too far away into the future. So even more important, though, you have to have an aftermath for what you envision. You have to have a new life set up. You can't just say, okay, well, on this date, I'm going to retire, and then that's the end of that. You have to have something else set up in your mind. So whether that's, taking surf lessons all day and that's how you see your new life, or whether that's, donating your time at a local shelter, or, could be starting a new business. What is your aftermath? Because retirement is just not an option. You're just going to be bored to death and you're not going to like it. So you need to finish this sentence. I have always wanted to pursue blank, and now I finally can. So what is that blank space? It could be writing, it could be watercolor classes, it could be horseback riding, whatever that may be. That's what you need to sort of motivate yourself as to what you can look forward to with your new life after your I quit date. Now, your third dose of magic is to create a timeline, and you can start drawing this particular timeline with me. So, what is your date for the I Quit office party? Okay. And that's the date that, should be 18 to 24 months from now. Write down that date and then you work backwards. So, you are here. And this is the part that you have to fill in with the blanks. So you have to fill in the blanks on how you're going to get there. That's the difference between The Secret and other stuff out there and this particular methodology that I'm teaching, is that you are not just going to be thinking, oh, I'm going to have an I quit date and I'm going to be envisioning and I'm going to whip up my vision board and then everything's going to be okay and I don't have to do anything else but maybe sneak in some affirmations here and there and that's all I have to do. Well, this is different because you are actually going to be creating a step-by-step plan on how you're going to arrive at your end vision, your new life vision, and your I quit date. You're going to be actually coming up with your own step-by-step plan. But so you can't start doing your plan until you actually do the other stuff. And this is what a lot of people don't understand is, oh, well, I'm just going to start some business and see where it goes. Or I'm going to start, some new job and see what happens. And they have no end vision of what they're wanting to do. And that's the difference between people who succeed in life and people who do not succeed in life, is that they don't first figure out what the whole reasoning behind the job is, or what the whole reasoning behind the new business is, or what the whole reasoning behind the getting the investment property is. And so therefore they never succeed, because even though they might acquire 100 plus units in apartment buildings, or they may acquire a somewhat successful business where they're making $20,000 a month in cash flow, except that they haven't really envisioned what's supposed to happen after that. They haven't envisioned what their new life is supposed to look like. They haven't picked an I quit date for themselves. They haven't done anything, and so then they end up on a new different treadmill from what they had before. And so you have to first think about your end vision, then choose your I quit date, and then at that point in time, then this is the exciting part, because you can come up with your step-by-step plan that you commit on paper to fill in the blanks between now and your date. So, before you can start filling in these blanks, you have to find what I call your financial freedom point, okay? And figuring this out is the weekly financial amount you need now in order to live comfortably or sustain your current lifestyle. You're going to have to convert that into a monthly figure, because with most investment real estate especially, it's done by monthly figures. It's not done by weekly, but most people think in terms of weekly because they get a weekly paycheck. So how much money do you make weekly at your job or business to allow you to sustain your current lifestyle, not your future lifestyle or a different lifestyle you want, but your current lifestyle? So that's living comfortably in your current lifestyle. How much money do you need weekly? And then, of course, what do you need monthly to be able to sustain what you have now comfortably? We're not talking about the new house or mansion you're buying or the new car you're buying, but what do you need now to sustain yourself currently? Now, once you do that, you have now found your what I call the financial freedom point, and that will help you start the process. Now, here's a couple of exceptions. Say, for example, you live in mom's basement and you'd like to get an apartment or your own house to rent for now. And so you can actually add a little bit of money to your monthly financial freedom point, because obviously you don't want to live in mom's basement anymore. Say you're driving a clunker car and you'd like to buy a new car and you'd like to add maybe $500 a month for a new car payment. Those are the only exceptions. Otherwise, do not be adding tons more money to your financial freedom point. Otherwise, what happens is your mind gets psyched out, meaning it thinks, okay, well, my mind is used to making, say, $500 a week or $2,000 a month. And my mind can accept the fact that I could probably replace that with investment property or an aggressive income business or both. But if I triple that to $6,000 a month, my mind can't accept that I can make that kind of money yet. So therefore, you'll psych yourself out before you even get started. So this is why we have to start first getting an aggressive income or a passive income business, or you know, getting something else going on to where you can actually meet that obligation first, and then you could then increase the amount of money you need for your financial freedom point. So for example, if $2,000 a month is your financial freedom point, meaning that I don't know where you're living in the country where you're living off $2,000 a month, but you know, great if you are, but say it's $2,000 a month, and you can realistically and reasonably accept that you can make that money with some type of aggressive income business, which may be an eBay business or an Amazon business, or writing Kindle books or something like that. So that's a doable amount, $2,000 a month. So once you reach that amount, then and only then can you increase the amount after you reach your financial freedom point and can be able to quit your job or current business or whatever you're trying to get out of. So you have to meet your financial freedom point first before you can consider upping the amount every month. So you're not going to quit your job or business until then, and then once you do meet that amount every single month, it's up to you whether you want to quit your, you want to quit your job or your business at that point in time, or if you want to keep your job, continue on getting that additional income, and then maybe funneling that money into investment real estate so that you could, definitely retire within 36 months or less. So you have to match that financial freedom point of what you currently need to sustain your current lifestyle before you can actually step into your new life and do the things that you want to do. And those are the rules, okay? So how do you do this? What type of opportunities or options do you have? Well, I call my two sides aggressive income and passive income. We first have aggressive income, which are my new wealth ninja strategies. That would mean that you could start an eBay business, you can have a standalone website and get internet income, you can have an Amazon business where you're selling products on Amazon. Any type of home-based business that you could preferably do 100% online, where you don't need a warehouse, you don't need staff. Those are my new wealth ninja strategies, and that's what I call aggressive income. You essentially can make as much money as you want, as long as you're willing to put the time and effort into it. Then there's passive income, which is real estate. You could get into smaller properties such as single-family residences, quads, which are fourplexes, small apartment buildings, mobile home parks. So at my 3-day event, that's one of the things that we did cover. I actually do have an event coming up in March of this year where we're actually going to be talking a lot about aggressive income and passive income. It's a 2-day event, which I've squeezed my 3 to 2, which is awesome because you guys don't have to waste extra time and money to be able to come to the event. Now, this is what you have to fill out. This particular worksheet is downloadable on my website, monicamain.com. So again, that's monicamain.com, and you could download this sheet to where you can actually fill it in. So what you need to do is figure out what you want for the aggressive income, to whereas you're going to take the aggressive income, whether it's making money on eBay or whether it's making money on Amazon. I don't recommend network marketing or multi-level marketing. I'm not a big fan of that. It may work for some people. I've just never been a fan of that. So you figure out what your aggressive income can be, and then you funnel the money into passive income, which is obviously real estate. Now you have to figure out both sides. What do you want to do for the aggressive income side? What do you want your home-based business to be? And then what type of asset classes do you want to be participating in when it comes to passive income? You might like mobile home parks. You might like quads, which are fourplexes. You might like small apartment buildings, which are 24 units or less. You might like office buildings. So you need to choose a specific asset class, and then you're going to have to choose, obviously, an area of the country that you're going to invest in, because all of your real estate needs to be in a centralized location, whether it's in your own backyard, your own city and state, or 3,000 miles away. All of your real estate needs to be in one segregated area in order to build a very profitable real estate empire. And so what you want to do is fill out this sheet, figure out the amount you need per week, the amount you need per month, your financial freedom date, which is your I quit date, and then the halfway point date, which if your financial freedom date is 2 years from now, then the halfway point date would be a year from now. So it's basically half of the time. So you're going to be doing on the aggressive side, a home-based business, or you could do aggressive real estate, which would be like flipping real estate. You could flip single-family residences, like rehab them and resell them. You can actually flip apartment buildings, which you'd rehab them, lease them up, and sell them. So that's considered aggressive real estate. And then you have your passive income, which could be single-family residences, multi-unit residential, which would be anywhere from 2 to 4 units, apartment buildings, which would be 5 units to 24. I don't really recommend that you go over 24 units. And then commercial, which are your office buildings, retail storefronts, industrial warehouse, those types of properties. And so, say for example, if you need $2,500 a week, then that transfers or translates into $10,000 a month. So, for example, since I had my financial freedom date is 12/31/2013, my halfway point from the time that I originally had done all of my calculations would have been half of that, or that date, which I believe at the time when I did this particular worksheet for myself was about 18 months ago. And so that's sort of how your worksheet would look, okay? So again, your halfway point is halfway between the time of your financial freedom date to now, okay? And so, one of the things that you want to do before you begin any type of endeavor, and of course, creating your own step-by-step plan, is by analyzing your resources. And you have to be honest with what you have. How much cash do you have? What do you have in your 401k if you have one? Do you have an IRA? Do you have friends or family that's willing to, give you money for a business? Do you have credit which you could borrow against to build a business or get investment property? What does your personal credit look like? Do you have a 680 personal FICO score or above? What are your resources? Do you have, friends or family that are willing to, do a business with you? What do you have that you can possibly potentially use to make money? And that's the first thing that you need to do to start building a plan for yourself. I always say be honest, because starting a home-based business is going to cost you anywhere from $100 to $1,000, and you have to have this at least to work with. Aggressive income real estate will cost you anywhere from 0 to 5,000, sometimes 10,000 or more, depending on if you have good credit or not. This will be explained in the seminar. It's actually going to be explained on day 2. What does your personal credit look like? Good credit is 680 or above, and no bankruptcies or foreclosures in the last 5 years. Do you have that? Do you have business credit built up? Do you need to have at least a good personal credit? 720 is even better. If you can go 720 FICO and above, then you start being able to quickly build business credit that can give you access to a minimum of $50,000 in unsecured business credit cards and lines of credit to work with pretty much right away, even if you have a brand new company that's not seasoned at least 2 years. Friends and family, associates, these days you could sell the prospect of investing in real estate to anybody. It's pretty super easy to do just because everybody knows how profitable real estate is. So especially when it comes to single family homes, that kind of thing, flipping property, people are really open to. People are not so open to, getting a retail storefront, especially when you're dealing with friends and family, because they don't really quite get it that far. But when we're talking about flipping single family homes for income and so forth, then a lot of people are really quickly on board for that. So we have the total wealth building system, in which, step by step in this event, I'm going to be laying out. And unfortunately, I have to warn you, though, that there is the X factor, okay? The X factor is your personality, this is something I cannot train you to do or be. I can't train you to be a different person or to have motivation, but you have to have motivation and drive in order to be able to do this. I have a lot of students who, bless their hearts, they want everybody to do the work for them. They want to call an 800 number and have somebody write them a check for $10 million. They want to figure out how to make money without doing anything. And if you're one of those people, you're never going to get anywhere, ever. Guaranteed. So you really do have to have an element in your personality to want to do this, to be motivated to do this. I cannot teach you how to do this. So you need to decide whether or not you have that X factor and that motivation and drive to do this, because if you don't, I can't teach you any further. I can't teach you to do anything. I'm not going to be one of those gurus out there that's going to be up there, rah, 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 you could do this, yeah. And you don't have to do anything, just, close your eyes and mentally, draw these types of things into your life by affirming and, just visualize and you'll attract all this, but you don't have to do anything. I'm not going to do that to you, because that's a lie. You have to be able to be willing and able to do something. And if you are a doer, you're going to be successful. And if you're not, then you're going to end up with nothing. So you have to have this attitude where it's you fully focus and you have a drive and you have this do or die attitude. There's a magic in that. And so, when you have the magic of knowing that you're going to be either doing this or you're going to die, then you're going to do it. There's also a magic in eliminating all the doubt that you have and just acquire a knowing that no matter what, you are going to be successful doing this. And so, just know that it's going to be taken care of. Just do the steps, do as much as you can, and you got to know that you're going to make it no matter what. When you finally acquire that knowing, then you're always going to be successful. I have a knowing to where no matter what, if somebody took all of my assets away tomorrow, I'd be able to do whatever I could within a short period of time to get it all back plus some. And I know that because I've had to do that a couple times already. So I have this knowing to where I'm always going to be okay. And so you have to know that you have the ability to make anything and everything work in your life. And if you don't have that knowing, then very little is going to happen in a positive direction for your success. And so you need to decide whether or not this is going to be worthwhile for you to, focus and know that you can do it and just go for it. Because if you're not willing to do it, and if you're wanting to somebody else to set up a business for you and make things happen, those other people are going to be setting up businesses for themselves to make money for themselves. They're not going to be setting up a business for you so that you can get all the proceeds of their hard work. So you either decide you want to do it or you don't, and that's one thing I cannot teach you. I have a seminar coming up in March, and it's going to be a 2-day event. And it used to be to where when I teach all this stuff, it's 3 days, but I'm actually scaling everything down to 2 days. So it's going to be a power-packed event for you to understand exactly what you need to do for aggressive income. So if you're looking for the step-by-step to be able to fill in those blanks that I had pointed out to where you can get to your I quit date, you can get to your financial freedom point as quickly as possible and to actually retire, and actually I should say have your new life within 36 months or less, then it's something that you should consider is going to this 2-day event in March to be able to get to where you want to go. And it will be very step-by-step. Not a single person in that room is not going to have a step-by-step plan by the time they leave. Everybody will have a step-by-step plan to where you will know how to exactly fill in those blanks between today to your I quit date. And you'll know exactly what to do step by step to make sure that you make it. I will tell you that we have a new economy right now, and nothing is the same. Nothing will ever be the same again. And so knowing that we have a new economy now, you have to understand that there are new rules. And that is climbing up the corporate ladder, gone. Thinking that Social Security is going to still be here for you, gone. You have to now compete with our new economy and our new world. And in order to do that, there's new opportunities that are available. I love being in today's day and age because there's endless amounts of new opportunity. And making money online is very, very easy to do. Very simple process. And that's one of the big things I'm going to be talking about in the 2-day event, to whereas you're literally going to be able to make whatever you want to make and do it all from home. And in no other time ever have we been able to have this type of opportunity where you could literally sit at a desk, have a computer and an internet connection, and make tons and tons of money. You weren't able to do that 20 years ago. Are you kidding? So you are in the best possible time, but you have to be willing to learn a couple of things in order to be able to do that. But you have to understand also, if you don't have this X factor or the single element that will separate the doers from the losers, then I can't teach you any further. Don't even waste my time. Don't, take up an extra seat that somebody else could take. You literally, should probably just stay at home. But if you have the motivation and the drive and want to do this and you want to learn all of these bona fide strategies and techniques for aggressive income to funnel them into passive income and this all new stuff, there's some of the stuff I've already taught before, but there's new stuff where you can literally make tons of money online in ways that nobody's ever taught you before. So check it out, MonicaMain.com, MonicaMain.com. And hopefully I'll see you in March. This is Monica Main signing off. I'll see you at the top.